This is John Kohler with OKRaw.com. This is the final part 4 of 4 on the presentation, the 1-hour presentation I gave at the Raw Spirit Festival in Prescott, Arizona, 2010. In this part, we're going to show you how to make a cactus cooler, really delicious, how to basically open Nepalis or cactus pears and basically make a juice out of them in the blender using a nut milk bag. Then we're going to blend that up with the young coconut water and meat. Oh, it's so delicious. Also going to share with you how to make my famous coconut vanilla pudding using basically just 3 ingredients. It's so delicious, and let's go to that clip. So what we have here is Nepalis cactus fruit. How many people have eaten cactus fruit before? Oh, mostly everybody, that's good. So I guess most people live here in Arizona, the desert area, that have eaten them before, hopefully. So I have to give my story since I am at the Raw Spirit, and I have a story with the Raw Spirit. So the one, not last year, but the year before in Sedona, I was here with my friend Kailash. How many people know Kailash? Wow, well, one person knows Kailash. Well, he's been into raw foods for a long time. He works at the Ant and Wigmore Institute, and he was out here. We're good friends. We've been friends for a long time. He's coming to visit me actually early next month, so I'm excited. From Puerto Rico, and I go to visit him in Puerto Rico in the tropics in the wintertime. So that's fun. So I got up early last year, or 2 years ago, and I foraged for prickly pear cactus in the morning. So I was up at like 6 in the morning before the event started. I went out and I didn't have a bag with me because I just went out for a walk in the morning, and get some sun and fresh air. But I saw cactus pear, cactus is growing. It's like, oh man, cactus pears are so good. So I didn't have a bag or anything with me. So what I did was, I think I ended up taking off my shirt and wrapping all the cactus pears in the shirt because they had all these thorns in them and they hurt bad. So I was trying to get the ripe ones. I got all the ripe ones. Brought him back. I'm like, gosh, look, man, I got all these cactus pears. And actually I had coconuts with me too, so I made the same recipe. And so what I did was, I basically took the cactus pears, dropped them in the blender, blended them up, and then I strained them through the nut milk bag, and then I blended it with the coconut water and the coconut meat, and blended that together. It was so delicious and so good. But then, about, I think I washed them. I did wash them. But then about 2 hours later, I felt sick to my stomach. I was like, oh my God, I don't feel good. I went to the toilet and full evacuation, if you know what I mean, out of my rear end. And purple things, purple, it was a purple color, full evacuation. So this means those cactuses went through my whole digestive tract in 2 hours and came out because my body said, get these out of here. It's toxic, because I also felt really ill. I felt like flu, I felt lethargic, I felt tired, I'm not going to the festival today, but it was on the last day, it was on Sunday, we had to check out the hotel at noon, and Kailash had a little bit to drink, so he was affected, but not as bad as me, and I just remember lying in the bed, and like, Kailash, get me water, and I was so sick, and I got to the festival that day, and I remember, actually, I was at Paul Nissan's house this past week, and he's like, John, I've never seen you like that in your life. It was like the funniest thing, because I'm so full of energy, except like that day when I went to the roster, I'm like, Paul, man, I don't feel so good. And I went over by the lake and just slept in the sun all day, man. It took I think I got finally better. I was flying back on Monday, and by Monday morning at least I was better, but still it was terrible. So the moral of the story is, you don't want to put cactus pears with the skin and all, especially the pricklers, because there are toxins in those pricklers, and that's so that the cactus can reproduce. So there's a lot of things in nature, like the cashew apple, the cashew fruit. If in nature we would never eat cashew nuts because there's toxins near the nut. They're related to the mango, and some people eat mangoes, they get all red rash and burns. That's because there's toxins in the mango skin. And some people are affected more than others, but in, for example, cashew nuts, we would never eat them because it's caustic to our fingers. But yet we process the nuts, whether they're heated, which most ones are heated in the health food store, or process them without heat. We get them out and we still think we could eat them. But in nature, we would never eat them. So I encourage people to try to follow nature's lead. We're just going to take, once again, the cactus fruit. We're going to cut off both ends. She said stick a fork in here to hold it. Especially, it's good to use a fork, especially if it has prickers, because most of these do. This has been deep pricked, luckily enough. So we're going to basically cut off both ends. You can see both ends of jelly, and these are really ripe. It's really good when you're picking these. You want to pick things that are, vibrant in color, a little bit soft, but not too soft. And then we're just basically going to cut down the middle here.
Very superficial.
Oh, and then she used the knife here to basically go underneath.
You are holding it, just push it.
And then she kind of turned it and used the knife to cut it a little bit. Depending, this one's really soft, so it's not coming out quite as easy as hers. But that's basically the principle, and then you can kind of just get the inside and the fruit out.
Oh, de nada. Some people don't eat this because they just say that it's very difficult to eat it, but it's very easy if you just have the technique.
So when you're picking them, if you're foraging them, what do they have to be soft or
Yeah, I like to get them. I like to look and use nature to my advantage. So a lot of times when I'm in nature, when I'm in my garden or whatever, I look for the most vibrant colors, and then I also check how soft it is. It should be a little bit soft. Ultimately, ripe for many fruits, actually, not all, is when they actually drop off the tree. So actually, the best thing is actually look on the ground for the ones that had just dropped off, not that had dropped off and been sitting on the ground for about a week or two. Those aren't good. Or just the other way that to know if they're ripe is if it's on the tree and it'll be on the cactus tree like this. When you try to pull it off, you can't. If you pull it off really hard and it finally comes, then it's not as ripe. If it comes off, you just kind of touch it and it comes off, then it's more ripe. On fruit trees, I like to go up to fruit trees, and instead of trying to pick the fruit, I'll just go up to the fruit tree, shake it vigorously, and the ripe ones will drop. Oh, there, and then I'll just collect them all. So yeah, I have lots of fun.
the ones that the tree want to give?
The ones the tree wants to give are the ones we want to accept.
Do they sell it in the stores?
Yes, they sell these usually in Mexican markets.
Mexican market?
Yeah, you're in Texas, right?
In Arizona.
Oh, yeah, they should sell it here. I mean, these were from Las Vegas. But, I mean, if you live in Arizona, man, you could just pick them for free.
So you put 4 in there, 5 in there?
Yeah, this is 4, 5. So, yeah. So next, then we simply blend on high. And now, you know, I did note that I did put the seeds in there. And it's a good day when I don't stain my nice white shirt with purple cactus juice. So the next step is we're going to just basically take it out and we're going to simply put my nut milk bag or sprout bag, whatever you want to call it.
Do you have to do that? Can you just add it?
You could, but it's going to be really gritty because you're going to get all the seeds. The seeds, like, you could swallow and eat the
Yeah,
seeds,
very
but
hard.
I don't like the seed texture in my smoothies.
But it's healthy. I mean, it's not bad for you.
Well, you can
I
either
mean,
eat that, but if
I
you
wouldn't say
forget
it's bad for you. I wouldn't say, I wouldn't
It just
do
doesn't
it.
feel good, but
It doesn't
maybe
feel
it adds
good. And then
fiber.
sometimes, like, if I eat whole flax seeds, they'll, like, come out whole, and I'm not really getting any nutrition from them because they're coming out whole, and these would just go right through you. And
So it's just a fiber thing.
yeah, fiber thing. I mean, I prefer not to do it. It's real simple. You could get a sieve or something else to just basically sieve all this stuff out. And I'm not pressing too hard because I don't want to press, like, if I press too hard, I'll get all the small fragments into the blender, and I don't want to do that. And we'll make this one, and this one will be good.
John, can you repeat what was in your coconut cream pudding? It was lemon and...
I'll go over that after we're done with this. Oh yeah, I'll do the demo of that. Where do you think napkins or towels? All right, cool. So all we have in there was like the juice of 5 cactus pears and coconut water and a coconut meat. All right, so here it is. This is going to be so delicious. And, you know, the other thing I'd like to point out is, you know, look at this nice, vibrant, I mean, this is a nice, pretty pink, girl pink color. Did your guy add spirulina? No. So anyways, yeah, drink, it's going to be good. And what the point of this was that, you know, we want to eat foods of color. We want to eat foods that have different colors that are nice, vibrant, rich, deep colors. The purple in the cactus fruit it's really high in antioxidants, and antioxidants are really good for us. So eat all different varieties of foods. So eat a wide variety of foods. Like if you eat cactus pears today, eat, you know, oranges tomorrow, or eat other seasonal foods. You know, so don't get stuck with eating 30 bananas today and romaine lettuce tonight, and 30 bananas tomorrow and romaine lettuce that night. We want to eat like spinach tomorrow, you know, tonight, cactus pears today, eat jackfruit tomorrow. When I go back to California, I'll be eating white nectarines one day. The next day I'll be eating some cantaloupe. The next day I'll be eating watermelon. So every day I have something totally different to give my body, you know, all these different ranges of items. And I know many people get stuck into certain foods, like, oh, I like apples, so every day I'll eat apples, you know, and every night I'll have romaine hearts. But, you know, we want to, you know, experiment, try that bok choy, try those dandelion greens, try that, you know, red chard, try that, you know, go wild harvest some foods. I know they're having a wild harvesting talk here today. Find different things and eat a wide variety of foods. And I think that's really important. That's not often taught in raw foods. You've got a lot more today than just a coconut demo. We didn't get too much of a coconut demo. You got a lot of things that I want to share with you to help you on your raw foods journey. I guess the last thing, I have two more things I want to go over, is the pudding I was going to make. So we did make this one here. The other one I was going to make, if I did have time, was just once again my vanilla shake, which was 2 coconuts and 1 whole vanilla bean blended up. Really delicious, real simple. And that actually is the base of my morning smoothie. I'll usually do this base, maybe add a couple bananas or other fresh fruit in season, and then some greens from my garden and or green powders and or algae powders, and blend that up. And that's pretty much what I eat either for lunch or for breakfast if I don't have juice or fruit, one of those times. And then the pudding, so the coconut pudding, the recipe actually is in my recipe book, and if you enjoy like this recipe, my recipe book, it's I have been into raw foods for 15 years. It's taken me, I don't know, I came out with this 2 years ago. It's taken me many years to come out with a recipe book. A lot of people get into raw foods nowadays for like 2 weeks, I don't know, 2 months, and they seem to come out with a book. And a lot of what's being taught, in my opinion, in the raw foods movement is just basically recycled information from somebody else's book. So a lot of books are teaching maybe not the healthiest way to do raw foods. It's definitely gourmet and tastes good, and it's definitely better if you're coming off a McDonald's diet, or better than a lot of processed foods out there, but it's not getting back to nature like I talked about in the beginning of my talk, basically eating more fresh fruits and vegetables. So the majority of my recipes in here have fresh fruits and vegetables without a lot of fillers. Some of the fillers that are being sold today, like agave and cacao, are not healthy in my opinion, and I give a whole nother hour and a half long talk on that and how you as a person can determine for yourself if something is raw and or healthy or not. And I do have that on my website,okraw.com, so I encourage people to watch that video online. It's definitely better if you give the talk in person. But so this book has over 30 recipes that are simple and delicious, and most importantly, really helpful for you. The other thing that I actually didn't show, and I'll show you really quick.
How much is it?
My booklet is $5. The other thing I'll show you really quick that I didn't get actually a chance to talk about is this coconut opener. So you saw how we opened the coconut with the knife, and that is my #1 preferred method. There is an easier way just to get the water out there. That's with this coconut opener. You simply take the coconut opener, put it in the coconut, twist and turn, it pops open, and then simply you take a straw, stick a straw in there, and you're drinking it. So that's the absolute easiest way in the whole world to open the Thai coconuts. And I make this tool available. This tool is $15. So if you want to get the tool and the book, they're $20. I have only 5 available here at the talk. So then my coconut pudding that I was going to make, what I would normally do is I'd use the meats of about 6 coconuts. And then what I would use is I'd use some dates. And you guys are super lucky because there's some amazing dates. So you haven't tasted any dates until you've tasted the dates down at the Flying Disc Ranch. Down there, they have a booth, and they have like barhi dates, and these are the barhis. These are like eating like maple syrup. No, it's not good to eat a lot of dried fruits, but dried fruits, in my opinion, are better than eating things like agave and honey because they're a whole food, basically, except for the water. But actually, some people would argue with me and say dates aren't even a dried food because they're just naturally from the tree. So they have about a half dozen varieties of dates that taste out of this world. I mean, they don't have the variety peanut butter dates, but there's all kinds of crazy dates, and they have some really good varieties, really rare varieties. So if you're used to eating medjool dates, I mean, to me, eating medjool dates is like eating cardboard. They're just so bland. They have all heirloom dates down there, and they're really affordable. They're really rare. So buy some and bring some home because you won't probably see these again. So normally in my recipe, once again, I use the young coconut meat, some dates, and the vanilla bean, and I usually pre-cut the vanilla bean into small pieces, and then just enough water to make it blend up in the blender. And then that's basically my recipe. And if you want to have more of a chocolatey version, I don't recommend using cacao, but I do recommend using raw carrot powder. You could add the raw carrot powder. Carrot powder is really rich in fiber and much healthier for us than cacao, which can be addictive and is actually not a health food in my opinion. So I hope you've enjoyed part 4 of part 4 on my Crazy About Coconuts presentation that I gave at the 2010 Raw Spirit Festival. Be sure to subscribe to my videos to get all the updates. So once again, I'm John Kohler fromokraw.com, and keep eating those fresh fruits and vegetables. They're good stuff.